Hello and welcome back. 26 days and bikeless. I can't believe it's been 26 days. It was about the 11th of June that the bike broke down, gave it to the mechanic. And I've been back and forth, tried to get a part from Triumph, nothing in stock. I then tried 2 different websites to try and order this gasket. Went through the process of ordering it, everything looked great. And then a day or 2 later, with both of these websites, both said, sorry Freddie, the part won't be in stock until the 1st of September. And by this point, honestly, I'd pretty much completely given up because the bike's in pieces at the mechanic and I don't know what else to do. Some people said you can cut a gasket yourself, it's fairly easy, but what am I gonna do? Go to the mechanic, pick up the gasket and start cutting it myself? I can't do that. So as it stood up until about 4 days ago, I was going to be bikeless for the entire summer. In reality, it's probably going to be mid-September until everything actually gets done. That would mean it's close to 4 months, just 4 months. But then Triumph came to my rescue, official Triumph UK, and they looked absolutely everywhere for me. They really did do everything in their power to find a gasket. Incredibly difficult, but they did manage to find a gasket in Italy. Can you believe it? There is a gasket somewhere in Italy with my name on it. I think as we speak, it's coming over now from Italy to Triumph UK, and Triumph UK, they will then send it to me. So very possibly within the next week, I will have a gasket for the Triumph. Next week, I've got a Harley Davidson coming, and next week, I'm riding the Harley Davidson down to Cornwall for a big trip. I've also got in Cornwall a Triumph Rocket arriving. So I won't be short for bikes next week, but I have been, it's been about 2 weeks now, completely bikeless. I may take you along today to do a bit of a day in the life video because a friend of mine, Danny, is test riding a Royal Enfield Classic 500 Tribute Black, the last of the series of 500s. So if he lets me film a bit of it and if our schedules coordinate, I'll show you a bit of that bike. I'm with Monika now. We'll go and grab a coffee, Ipswich Marina. Everything is glorious, apart from the fact, hello, I don't have a bike. I'm now living the life of a 15-year-old. The bike is no more, at least for now. Monika's mum's car is broken, the Hyundai, so she needs to use our car for now. So we have no car, I have no motorbike, and my final mode of transport is this, my dad's 25-year-old bike. And I need to go and pick up my QUADLOCK setup from the Bonneville because the Harley's coming. I've got a long ride next week and I won't know how to get there otherwise, but this is the only way I can get through to the garage of Kingdom Motorcycles, and I've just remembered why I'm not using the bike, because I forgot to fix a puncture. Perfect. Okay, so there's no mode of transport at all. I have to find out when Monika's mum's back to see if I can pinch the Fiat off her. I'll give you an update on the Royal Enfield actually. Unfortunately, Danny couldn't come to meet me afterwards because he was too tight for time. But this Royal Enfield he was seeing, and I hope I'm not giving it away before he has a chance to buy it and someone else comes and grabs it, but I think this video will come out in about 5 days' time. The Royal Enfield is the Classic 500. It's the Tribute Black Edition. Only 1,000 were ever made. It's this one here. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. End of line production. They're all numbered, numbers 1 to 1,000, and I think something like just 220 of these actually came to the UK. So it's a really, really special bike. Feedback from his ride, he absolutely loved it. So he may be pairing that with his adventure bike, so I can't wait to show it. Potentially in another video if he does end up getting it, because I would love to see that bike, excuse me, in the flesh. For now, I need to hope that the Fiat comes back in time so I can go and get my QUADLOCK. It's a very strange feeling though, having no transport at all. Okay, I got the car back just in time, 4:30 on Friday afternoon, so I should just get to Kingdom Motorcycles to see the Bonneville in time, take off the QUADLOCK. You know, I almost feel bad because Kingdom Motorcycles isn't massive, and they will potentially, depending on when the part comes, have had the Bonneville in for 1 or 2 months, just taking up a massive amount of space in the workshop. So it'll be nice to see it again. If I can film inside, I'll show you the current state of the Bonneville in pieces. It's one of those days. I miss Kingdom Motorcycles. They are shut. So, the final thing for the day, can I get an inner tube for my bicycle? Isn't it funny? The final bastion of reliability anywhere in the household, car, motorbike, even bicycle, is a Fiat 500 with 207,000 miles. Hello again. I'm just about to head off. It's Monday lunchtime to Kingdom Motorcycles once I've sorted out this tyre, because today marks 1 month exactly to the day that I gave my Bonneville to the dealership, to the garage, and the garage ordered the Triumph part. So the part has been on back order for a month. Triumph, as you know, have found a part in Italy, but because of Brexit, things just take longer. I remember before Brexit, I used to order parts from Holland and Germany, whether it's clothes or bits for the bike, and they could easily be here within 4 or 5 days. But now, in reality, it's much more like 2, sometimes 3 weeks. So I won't hold my breath too much for that part. I don't know if it's going to be in a few days or a few weeks' time. It's also been, of course, a month since I've even seen the Bonneville. And you do start to go a bit numb. It's just not possible to care for such an extended amount of time, to constantly think, oh, when am I getting my bike back? I cannot wait for the day. You just have to, in essence, stop caring. I found myself almost daydreaming more about new bikes to buy than riding the Bonneville, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get the Bonneville back and then wonder, what if something else breaks? Is that another month that I'll have to wait for parts? And will it be just a continuous cycle? So I hope that doesn't realise and become a reality. I think I've also just remembered that the brakes aren't working on this bike. But as my only mode of transport, I'll have to just do some shoe braking instead. realised quite a scary thought. My dad was almost exactly my age when he bought this bicycle. Where does time go? It's crazy to think about it. Okay, Kingdom Motorcycles, I'm 30 seconds away. First time seeing the Bonneville in a month, and I've got no idea what state it will be in. I'm guessing almost completely disassembled. I love coming back here. Kingdom Motorcycles, it's always immaculate and he's always got interesting projects. So the Bonneville, because it's going to be away for such a long amount of time, it's in a lockup somewhere down the road. So Dom kindly took off the QUADLOCK adapter, so I won't see the Bonneville today, but he said, such is the issue with parts at the moment, not just for Triumphs and British bikes, but all bikes with supply chains, etc., etc. It's so frequent that he can be working on a project and one specific part isn't available that if he kept all the bikes here that were waiting parts, there'd be no space to carry on with the others. So he's got storage elsewhere, keeps the bikes that are waiting parts. I mean, some bits are 2, 3, 4, 5 months that he has to put those away until the individual part comes along, and my Bonneville is locked up somewhere. But Dom said I could do a little tour of what's in at the moment because just so much brilliant stuff. So I'll flip the camera and give a little tour of what's here at the moment. I'll start off with this lovely looking bike. BSA, I think, if I remember what Dom said, I think it's an A65 and this is currently being worked on. Not a complete restoration, but just getting it back into nice running order. And I think they're changing it, if I remember correctly, something like 8 to 12 volts or something. In essence, they're just giving a soft upgrade to bring it up to closer to 2023 type standards. But all of that patina, everything you see there, that will all remain. Such an elegant bike. And I do see similarities with the new BSA, just different shapes of the bike. I definitely see the similarities there. This one is one of those awkward big projects that's taken about 2 days worth of man hours. And I should just say, I know I said it last time, but look how immaculate everything is here. Always immaculate. I didn't give any warning, this is just what it's like. This is a project going on at the moment, which is a 400 Honda that's pretty much being built back from the ground up. Fairly close to as immaculate and pristine as you could imagine, although there's almost nothing there. And let me show you one final thing here, one thing, if I can find it, although it's inside. And I'll do a bit of B-roll of what this was like before. If you can't see anything there, that is the rustiest tank I've ever seen from an old Blackbird. I'll put the footage over the top of it because I've never seen anything like it. And then just coming out to the front, you've got a Kawasaki here that is, I can't remember what that's awaiting, but that's awaiting parts. This Honda is awaiting, I think, a sump from Honda, and that will be about £250, and that's on back order. And then, I love seeing this old British stuff, an old Royal Enfield. And this would be, you know, I was about to say this must be ancient, but this is a 58, so this is a 2008 model. Is it really? I almost can't believe it's a 2008 model. Apologies, and someone tell me if I'm wrong, but that is a 2008 plate. It's just incredible to see how ancient the relatively old Royal Enfields look that are actually only about 15 years old compared to the newer stuff. And finally, you've got an SV1000 behind it, and there on the floor, actually that's quite irresponsible of me just leaving it in the middle, the bicycle. Well, I've come to meet Monika for a coffee, and I forgot to mention it. I really wanted to when I was at Kingdom Motorcycles. It's so interesting seeing it because he gets such an interesting selection of old bikes in that a lot of other mechanics just won't work on. And one of the projects that he's got 2 wheels, spoke trims from an old bike. And he's got 2 packs of spokes, one for the front wheel, one for the back. And his job is to completely re-spoke those rims. It's a proper art that not every mechanic can do. And then you've got stuff like the carburetors, things like that. All of these old skills that are a dying art in a lot of mechanics' workshops. So it's so interesting to see all of that kind of thing. One other thing I forgot. I got an email. I almost had a seizure here. Harley Davidson, they emailed me and they said, I'm sorry Freddie, but the Harley has sustained some damage. And I just read that popped up on my phone and I thought, oh my, this will be another 2 weeks that I won't have a bike. Literally, I'm just spending the whole summer completely bikeless. Turns out that the last person, I don't know who it is, I'd love to point fingers, that would be brilliant, but the last person that had the Street Glide that I was going to get in 2 days' time ended up damaging it, but luckily Harley found me another bike, so I think I'm getting the Sport Glide instead, so there's a slight change. But heart attack over, I'm still getting a bike in 2 days' time, so you know, they could have offered me almost anything and I'd be delighted just to get back onto 2 wheels. So 2 days' time, Harley coming. Bonneville is at least safe, but no updates, so I'll keep you posted as and when I hear back from that. I'll wrap it up there. After all that cycling, I need to gorge as quickly as possible, so thank you so much everyone for watching. See you in the next one.